In this short video, you will learn how I make sourdough oatmeal raisin cookies and how I freeze them for baking later. This was a new recipe that I was experimenting with, but it turned out so good and actually was really easy to put together. Getting all the ingredients out was the only messy part, but these came together so quickly. And once I mix the ingredients together, I start with my typical butter and the sugars, making sure those are mixed together really well, make sure it's nice and creamy. Then I added my sourdough starter, mix those together, and then I added spices. I added molasses, vanilla, and once those had a good mixture, I added my baking soda, flour, and I use whole wheat flour and all-purpose flour for these to even add more nutrition, more of a moist bite to them. And then I added my oats, and of course my raisins. And I added a little bit more oats later because I felt like the consistency needed a little bit more oats to absorb that moisture. And these turned out delicious. The dough smelled so good, but didn't sample at this point. I let it sit in the fridge, covered with plastic wrap, overnight until the next day. So now that my cookie dough sat overnight, I ball up all the cookies and put them on a parchment lined baking sheet, and that small baking sheet goes straight into the freezer where it's gonna sit for 2 to 3 hours to make sure they're really solid, and then I'm gonna transfer them to a freezer bag. And I also got a chance to bake some fresh and sample them, and they were delicious. So I can't wait for some of my family to bake some of these after the baby comes. And they're gonna take about 9 to 13 minutes from the freezer to bake. I hope that video was helpful for you. Please like it if it was, and share it with a friend. If you like this content and want to see more, you can subscribe. And down in the description box, you can see some of the resources I'm using, my resource guides, as well as how to find my online courses if you really want to get started and see the full process of making sourdough. Leave me a comment, let me know, what are you getting stuck on? What would you like to see more of? That really helps me decide what to create for you in the future. Thank you for being here.